you?
I think I'm pretty well. Pretty well.
Good.
It's so hard to answer that question, don't you think? Because without it being just a blunt answer, like, how do I answer that? Like, what's your go-to how are you answer? I feel like everyone has their own thing.
Ask me.
How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
See?
I feel like I say not bad.
Yeah, I always say, I'm well, or I'm swell.
Yeah. I'm well, I'm swell, I'm gel, I'm...
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I used to be just like, I'm good, and then people used to tell me off for saying, like, I'm good's not even an answer when I was a kid.
It's not, though?
Like, it's like, that doesn't even make sense. I think a teacher said it to me once, and I was like, okay, so what am I meant to say instead? And they're like, say well, you're doing well. And I'm like, okay, and now it's like, I can only say I'm doing well.
I'm doing well.
I'm like, I'm doing well, I swear. But it literally stuck with me.
Right.
So many things from primary school stick with me.
Really?
Yes.
That's not surprising.
It's not surprising. I'm still basically a 10-year-old.
You're not a 10-year-old. You're a bit older. A little bit.
A little older.
Bit.
Not 18
You're
years old or anything.
At least 12.
I'm a whole adult older.
Yeah.
Ugh.
A random question because, I don't know, I feel like going through school I was the only person to typically do this.
Okay.
But I don't know if I was. You tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever leave sandwiches at the bottom of your bag?
Oh, they would be squished there, and then I'd randomly find them like maybe a week or 3 weeks or maybe even a month later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they would be blue.
Disgusting.
furry.
Oh, God, stop him. No, they weren't furry.
Right. Furry. No,
I just remember the Glad wrap being like half squished and like...
Oh, yeah.
Ugh,
I remember
so
like,
much Glad wrap.
No, I remember fur in your bag.
In my bag? I didn't even go to primary school with you, dude.
Actually, in high school.
I was doing it in high school. I was
What
just
are you
about to sound
talking
like...
about? I didn't do it in primary school.
No, I did... Wait, I did in primary school and high school. I don't think there was ever a
only high
time...
school. Only high school. When my mum let go of the reins a tiny bit, it was a disaster.
Oh. No, I remember every time Mum would actually go through my bag, she's like, what the hell do you leave in here? And I'd be like,
Right.
I'm a mess. I'm a mess.
Help me.
Like, she's like, why didn't you eat this? I'm like, I forgot about it. And now I realize I forget to eat all the time. And it made sense, even though there was a whole eating period at school. Like, why did I
forget to eat?
If I had a sandwich, I'd forget. If it was like a tuna sandwich or a ham cheese sandwich, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll eat that later. And then I'd be like, nah.
Crazy, man. You're crazy.
But I would eat, if my friend had something that was like decent, I'd be like, oh, you got some fairy bread over there? Throw me some of that.
Of course, fairy bread.
I love a fairy bread sandwich.
Damn fairy bread.
Who doesn't love fairy bread?
Well, me.
What?
I never ate fairy bread growing up.
Why?
I don't know. It wasn't available.
Was it too sugary for your parents' tasting?
No, I don't know. It was never available.
I'm telling you, sometimes I'd finish school, Mum would have like the hundreds and thousands like in the pantry,
Yeah.
and I would grab a slice of bread, butter that shit up like full loaded, and just...
Like butter or like margarine?
Oh, I'm a butter gal.
You're a butter, so
I'm a
no
butter.
Lee.
Whatever was in the fridge really, but butter is my butter. But yeah, tip that shit over there and they'd be like, crunch, crunch, crunch.
I say, I don't know if I like the crunch.
Nah, you get into it.
When I go to Pancake Parlour
Yeah.
and I get an Alice in Wonderland
Oh, I hate Alice in Wonderland.
without the hundreds and thousands.
Without it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no. Firstly, I'm a pancake parlor like enthusiast. So
Yes.
like the choc chip pancakes are clearly the best, or the Jubilee. But
No. You're saying all
if
the
you're
wrong
going to
things
get the
today.
Alice in Wonderland, you do it right and just get the Alice in Wonderland.
No, I am doing it right. I don't get the hundreds and thousands. Nothing gets stuck in my teeth. My ice cream doesn't go colourful. It stays white and beautiful.
Yeah, I
with the
do hate
chocolate
when the
fudge.
colours run, eh?
It's gorgeous.
See, that's why I never liked M&M McFlurries, because the colours ran.
Ah, okay.
It threw me off entirely. And M&M Yogos, like the in the box Yogos.
Oh.
Yeah, we're both like, yeah. Like, but yes, the one with the little spoon, I still eat them, the choc chip ones. The choc chip ones are like,
I still buy them
so
for
delish.
my son.
no, you don't. I love those things. Yoga, nothing. I'm gonna flat out say this. I think nothing makes me feel more comforted than unpeeling a yoga with that little beautiful gorilla on it and taking that first like little perfect spoonful. It's such a delicious treat. I can't even explain it.
Oof. I remember, actually, you just triggered a very red memory. I remember I was watching Rocky with my parents and we were doing a Rocky marathon because Rocky Balboa had just come out.
Yeah.
And there's a little saucy scene that comes up. Nothing really happens.
Yeah.
It's just Rocky kind of like takes Adrian on the first date, and then he kind of gets around the corner and he's like, I want to kiss you. And stuff like that. He's like, you want to kiss me? And then it's really awkward kissing. And I remember like running away just so I could put Yogo in a bowl as an excuse to get out of watching that scene with my parents.
I'm sorry, did you say you put Yogo in a bowl?
I saw you see Yogo in a bowl. That is
the weirdest.
Took away from my story?
Yes, because you've lost me. You at Yogo in a bowl. Who puts Yogo in a bowl?
Someone who eats like 4 Yogos at a time. What am I gonna open 4?
Yes, because that's like I just said. The best part about the Yogo is the fact of peeling it out of the perfectly brown container.
No way! I'd put it all in a bowl. I'd put like the whole like half a dozen in a bowl.
I'd eat the 4 in a row.
No way. No, you didn't know how to live,
what do you
mate.
mean didn't know how to live? That's more exciting. You get to enjoy it. And then you're like, I'm done. I can have another one. Oh, I'm done. I can have another one. Otherwise, it's just a big bowl of glub and you don't even know what you're eating.
But it's beautiful. You dip your face in it. It's lovely.
Oh, you don't even understand the perfection of eating from that gorgeous cup.
No, you have no idea what
speaking
you're
of
about.
yoga, actually, it's actually quite a topic for me and the psychologist.
Right.
I'll explain to you why. So we know how I have that thing where I struggle to let go of things and I feel like everything leaves me.
Yeah.
So I was talking to the psychologist a couple months ago and he was like, where else does this show up in your life, Elle? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like it's like taking over my life. Like I walk through the supermarket and I keep trying to tell myself, no, I should not buy a whole pack of Yogos. But at the same time, I can't help but buy the packet of Yogos because the thought in my brain is, but what happens if the next time you come to the supermarket, it's gone like everything else that you love? And I was like, whoa, like I get attachment issues to like everything, including food products, because I'm so terrified that someday the thing that makes me feel so nostalgic and like that gives me so much comfort is going to disappear. And I'm the only thing that's like causing it to stay in the system of the supermarkets because I buy it every time. I have the same thing with Red Rooster. I feel like if I do not go to Red Rooster, somehow it's going to close down and it's going to be my fault because I'm keeping Red Rooster alive. Like, I don't know where this started from, but it's definitely a coping mechanism and I kind of love it and like hate it at the same time, but I can't help but like fall into the trap of like giving in every time because I'm like, I just can't imagine living without this thing. And I truly believe that it's going to disappear if I don't purchase it or have it in that moment. Do you relate?
No.
I didn't think so. It was wishful thinking.
I don't relate in a sense that I feel like if I don't buy it, then it will go out of, it'll be,
I'm superstitious as fuck. That's probably
the
what.
term I'm after?
It will get not recalled. Recalled when something. It will get discontinued.
Discontinued.
Oh my the worst word in my freaking vocabulary. I hate that word.
Get this. I have had a favorite chocolate of mine get discontinued.
Oh, which one?
The Malteser block chocolate.
Oh my god, that got discontinued?
That got discontinued to hell.
Oh no.
Yeah, so one time this was my favorite chocolate when I was pregnant. It just, God, it overtook my life. It overtook my life. Anyway, my husband went to go get me some Maltese block of chocolate and he goes there and he can't find the chocolate. And he goes to ask someone and he's like, excuse me, where is the Maltese block of chocolate? And she's like, oh, that's getting discontinued. Not enough people bought it.
This is exactly my point.
Ah, yes. So George is like, oh, crap. And then she went in and got him all the stock from the back. And it was about, 10 blocks. And then George bought all of those.
But how sad is it knowing they're the last ones you're having?
It was pretty sad.
I had the same kind of situation happen 2 times, right? And I think that's also what's caused this problem for me, is that I was obsessed. And when I say obsessed, I mean like incredibly obsessed. I would have one a night of Magnum Golds. They were the best, honestly, best bloody Magnum there ever was and will ever be, right? And I crave it literally almost every week. I still crave this thing.
Right.
And when it just got discontinued, my heart went with it. It was so... I love Magnum Gold so much. But on top of that, the day, I swear to God, this one day is where this all began, right?
Right.
I had recently split my ankle open, right?
What the? Who splits the ankle open?
The security door.
How do you split it open?
The security door hit me in the back of the leg and hit right before my Achilles.
I'm imagining like when you cut a chicken in half. Like, how does one split an ankle open?
It was like a little. I got a lot of stitches. It was a bit intense.
Oh.
But yeah, the door really got me in there.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, you know when you walk through a door and it like hits you at the back of your leg? It just really hit me at the back of my leg.
Oh, wow. And you split it open.
Blood everywhere. It was really intense. Open. But I was on crutches and we're at the airport because we're going to Queensland when I was like a bit younger. And we went to go to Hungry Jack's at the airport.
Yeah.
And
I know what you're talking about.
Yes. And so for those who remember, Hungry Jack's had those nuggets that were not like regular nuggets. They were like chicken fingers almost.
Yeah.
And they were nice and perfect and they were a little bit peppery. And if you squeeze them, they were juicy on the inside. It was like the best chicken nugget there was that was not a chicken nugget but was a chicken nugget, right? And I remember going up, ordering my nuggets. That's all I wanted. I was hating the fact that I was getting on an airplane back then, and I was hating the fact that I was on crutches, and I was just over it. I was having a shit day, right? Mm-hmm. And I get there, and you know how Hungry Jacks have those little they used to have those microphone things? I was like talking to the person and he was like, oh no, we got rid of those. And I'm like, what do you mean you got rid of them? Like, only here are all the Hungry Jacks? And they're like, all the Hungry Jacks. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I called over my dad and he wasn't paying attention. So I'm like trying to go over to the guy to like use his microphone to call my dad. And then dad finally came and I'm like, Dad, can you believe they're gone? And I literally had like a full breakdown in the middle of the airport and cried the whole flight to Queensland thinking about these fucking nuggets. Because I was just devastated. And I remember just wanting to reach over the counter and scream into the microphone, why? Like, I think about them all the time. They were the best nuggets ever. And this is why I have this complex that everything in my life will leave. I don't understand. I don't understand. It was literally one of the worst moments of my life. I can't even, and I've had a lot of shit things happen, but that was like a real letdown moment where I was like, things will never be the same. Change is horrible.
Life is horrible.
Yeah. I'm like, look at me.
Life is about people letting you down.
Yeah.
Life is about mistakes.
And all because I didn't go to Hungry Jack's for 2 weeks? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I told you.
You know what they were saying at the back? They were like, if someone doesn't buy these chicken nuggets for 2 weeks, we're fucking getting rid of them.
Not if someone, if Elle doesn't. No,
if anyone in the world doesn't buy these
other
chicken nuggets for 2 weeks.
Other people surely bought them. They were delicious.
And because you didn't buy chicken nuggets for 2 weeks, Elle,
I'm telling you, other people have to remember these nuggets and have to be as dedicated to these nuggets as I was. I will be. I'm like, oh, it's one of those things that like I literally cannot wait to tell my child about one day, like the future child, and be like, there were these snacks I used to have, my friends, and I was the reason they got discontinued, but I was also the reason they stayed in business because after I learned. I don't know. Like, I've got such seriousness about
Mom,
this. Yeah,
that's a great story.
And then they go over to their like dad and they're like, what's with her? Why'd you get with that lady? Like, and he'll be like, they'll be like, oh, I also love those nuggets. That's why we fell in love. And I'll be like, exactly. I'll find me a man which likes them nuggets.
On that note, Elle, shall we move to formalities?
Yes, please.
What we like to do on the podcast is talk about what was number one in music history this week. Now, when I say this week, I mean the week that the episode comes out. Mm-hmm. Bing, bang, boom. In 1985, Heaven by Bryan Adams was number one.
Oh.
What a sad song.
Yeah, I always think of that version of it that used to play around in high school.
Ah, yes.
Where it was like...
That version by DJ Sammy in 2002.
Oh, so specific. That was 2002? I feel like I only listened to that in 2008 or something.
The person who is DJ Sammy said about this song, the reason I chose Heaven is because I love it and it has a very special memory from my youth. So that is quite lovely.
Nice.
And when Bryan Adams was asked about this version, he goes, everyone loves this song and I was thrilled. It's always interesting to hear how other people interpret your music. Sometimes, like this version, they connect. In 1998, The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica was number one.
This song, may I say, is really well done, right? Because Brandy and Monica, there was always like speculation that they had a feud against each other.
Right.
But it turns out like they actually had not really like had anything like they didn't even really know each other.
Oh.
And so they came together on this track to sort of portray or take the piss essentially of that rumor. So the song is like about them kind of like arguing or like they're having a dispute.
Is that why it's called like The Boy Is Mine?
Yeah, The Boy Is Mine. Yeah.
The Boy Is Mine. The Boy Is Mine. The Boy Is Mine.
And essentially at the end of the music video, they're like together and it's all like chummy, but it's to kind of show like, hey, we're not actually fighting. We're pretty united and we're fine.
Okay.
And for some reason, everyone always still speculated after that even that there still was beef between the two of them. They always pinned them against each other, which is weird because they didn't pin them against any other artist back then in that field. Weird that like, I wonder where people get that history of the beef, or is some things just like pure speculation between like two artists?
I'm going to say that sometimes it's just pure speculation.
Yeah.
I think people just like to...
They also were inspired to write this song by Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson's songs The Girl Is Mine.
Right.
And mixed that with the inspiration from Jerry Springer and how the fact that like there's stories like that all the time. Like, did you ever watch Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
Like Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how it's always pretty much like screw you, man, that's my man, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So like they kind of took inspiration from the song and from that show and were like, you know what, this is it.
Wow.
I like
What
that.
a weird combination.
I like the
I
inspiration
never thought about
because
that
it's like
before.
real scenarios that people obviously go through. I feel like there's love triangles all over the world.
You're not wrong, Elle.
Also reminds me of Same Girl with R. Kelly.
Same girl. Oh, man, I used to love that song.
Me too, man. Me
Yeah.
too.
I
Yeah.
used to love the music video and they're like talking to each other but they're singing.
Yo, Ush.
What up, 2017, Despacito by Louis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee featuring Justin Biebs. The Biebs, or Justice Beaver.
Justice Beaver. Why is it so familiar? Is that from The Office?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I think I used to laugh at that all the time in high
crime-fighting
school.
beaver.
Yes. Oh my god, I remember. I mean, Chris, that's like the one episode I used to actually watch. That song, Despacito, was... Is that what the song was?
Sorry, what was the accent?
That's what it's called.
Despacito. She's Despacito. Despacito.
Just then you laughed at me, you know, in Grown Ups when the mums, like Grown Ups, when they go to that swimming pool and they all like the hot guy, then he walks up and they're like, ladies, you're from Saskatchewan?
I'm from Canada. Such a do it, eh? I'm from Canada, eh?
And then they just piss themselves. That's what I felt like. I felt like I was him just then. And you were just like, what?
Because you feel like Despacito. Like, you're like, when I talk, you're like, when I talk about Despacito, like, you were completely normal, and then you said Despacito.
Anyway.
Despacito.
When I watched anyway, I'm not gonna be able to say the word now, but Despacito was a great. Oh my god!
Despacito.
I'm sorry, I don't say Despacito. What am I meant to say?
Despacito. Like Despacito. Yeah, you've confused me now. I've said the word Despacito so many times. It's no longer a word, it's a sound.
I know, but anyway, the song
Yes, that song.
was actually massive, let's be honest.
Yes, I know.
It really, every time I hear it, I
know.
literally feel like I'm at a club in Mykonos for some reason. I think
Yeah.
it played a lot when I was there the first
Oh,
time.
must have, yeah. It always reminds me of being in a van in America.
What? Were you in a van in America?
I was, but
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you meant like just randomly, you just picture yourself in like a little white van.
We organised a transfer from LA to our hotel, and it was one of those vans. And it played on the radio. I was like, fuck, here too. Because I was just so sick of it at that point.
It's so big. And you know what? I have to say, I love it and hate it at the same time because it overplayed so much. But at the same time, every time I hear it, I'm like taken back to those times.
Take me back to that van.
But
where someone threw up and my hair smelled like vomit.
In the van?
In the van.
Wait, was it a shared van?
It was a shared van.
Oh, I've been in one of those.
Someone threw up, right, in the van. My hair smelled like vomit. Then when we got back to the hotel, my husband was like, your hair smells like vomit. And I cried. I cried.
You're like,
No, because I was so embarrassed. It was like our first trip together.
Aw.
Or second one, I don't know. We were just married. I was trying to make a good impression.
He's
I was his
married
wife. I was his wife. Trying to make a good impression. Like he had a good wife that smelled good. But my hair smelled like vomit and I cried and I got really embarrassed.
You were just embarrassed because you knew you weren't going to wash your hair for another 3 days.
Exactly, Elle. I was embarrassed and my hair smelled like vomit.
And I was going to realize that you don't wash your hair.
I wash it, but just,
no one should wash their hair more than twice a week, I
I
swear.
agree. But usually people shower in between. That's the problem. Alright. I don't have much to say about Despacito.
Despacito.
But what I can tell you is that the word Despacito is translated to slowly.
Slowly.
Slowly, because the song is about having a sexual relationship, but it's sung in a smooth and romantic way rather than in an erotic language.
Interesting.
So it's like Despacito.
This is how we do it down in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. They do it nice and slow.
Nice. Very sexual, very toy.
Very sexual, very toit.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's very sexy. Very sexy song. You want to win over someone with the sexiness? You play this song. You play this song when you want to have sex.
Get down on it. Yeah.
Get down on it. Yeah. So if you want to have sex with someone...
Okay, we've established. Sorry. You did the look at the camera thing again.
What we also like to do on the podcast is tell you who you share a birthday with. That's when we tell you a celebrity's birthday and you tell us.
If you share it.
That birthday. All right. Whoa. Elle, if you were born on the 28th of November, you would have shared a birthday with Randy Newman.
Why do I know that?
Got a friend in me.
I love the name Randy.
Randy. I always think of Family Guy. Where he pulls down Peter's pants. Randy. All the time where he's about to use the toilet, so he pulls them up. Randy.
Oh, Randy Jackson. I think Randy's the name. Is Randy the name of the guy in How I Met Your Mother that gets nosebleeds? I think it is. It is?
I don't know. I haven't watched How I Met Your Mother in a while.
I feel like it is. But yeah, Randy's a good name. Or Randy and My Name is Earl.
Oh, yes. Yes. Randy.
Good old Randy's. But you got a friend of me. I was saying to you actually the other day, Toy Story soundtrack is just...
It's spiffy, eh?
It is really, really good. Really nice.
It's strange things are happening to me.
Me.
I can't sing. I sing it like that to my son because he loves the Toy Story soundtrack.
Yeah.
So every time I sing it, it's strange things are happening to me. my head goes forward. Me.
I'm imagining your son at like daycare or something, and kids are like, "Oh yeah, like what's something you like to do?" And he's like, "Well, for me,
because 2-year-olds are just having conversations like that."
Hey, I feel like I think of Stewie, and I'm like, yeah, anyone can talk to each other like that.
Mom.
Hi. Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah. All right, we have a great episode in store for everyone.
We do.
We got to speak to these two lovely people, Jack and Ruby, who make up Dacy, and they're brother and sister, and they're just so freaking gorgeous. I love their music. Their most recent single, Don't You Think It's Funny? It's so freaking catchy.
It's so catchy, so catchy. And I also love just the stories behind their music. They'll share about it more within the episode, but it's just two very insightful people that have such a beautiful connection with each other and with music, and it's just amazing seeing them do what they want to do with music and make a career starting from a place of just pure passion for it and passion for performing.
Yep. Before we get to Jack and Ruby, we must ask you a few things. Now, if you could please subscribe, that would be very nice. And also, tell a friend.
Yes, please tell a friend.
Please.
And if you like what you're listening to, please rate us a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, guys.
It would be very, very helpful.
It would be so helpful. My God. Would it be helpful? All right, we'll be right back with Dacy. We are back and we are here with Dacy. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Ruby.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
How you guys going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Good.
That's good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having us on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, honestly.
Anytime.
Anything to support our fellow Melbournes. Melburnians,
That's
that's
right.
the one.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I love hearing American people say like Melbourne and stuff when they're here.
Melbourne.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
So, guys, please tell us. We would love to know how you guys got into music and how you got started with everything.
Absolutely. Or just before we start as well, our dog is in Ruby's bedroom, so if it's like someone's scratching at the door, it's just the dog
That's
trying to get
fine.
out.
That's
No
fine.
stress at all.
We spent like 20 minutes trying to like coerce her outside, and it just didn't. It just
Yeah.
didn't. It wasn't going to happen.
Oh, no. Don't worry, my dog's the same. That's why we have to come to her house to record, because
Yes.
my dog would just literally just be crying the whole time.
Yeah, and I send my son to school, so I don't have to.
So you don't have
We've only done like we've done a few podcasts, and like our mum
Yeah.
had to stay home the last one we did because
the dog is such
the dog is
a
nuts. So like, so hopefully we'll see how it goes. But
That's so cute.
yeah, so basically our dad was like really into music, and he used to be in like quite a big cover band in Melbourne back in like the 80s and stuff like that.
Oh,
80s and the
cool.
90s. And so that's kind of where it started, and then he started recording bands after he finished doing that. And so we kind of started a studio at our house, kind of, and so there'd always be bands coming over to record and stuff like that. And so,
That's so cool.
and me and Ruby were just like more like really
little
little.
kids would just like wait outside the studio, just be like, "Can I come in? Can I come in? Can I come in?" No, just like wait. So
Like-
finally, if like the band had been there for a while or I knew them, then we were like allowed to like sneak into sessions and like just sit in the corner, don't make any noise. Or once the bands had
Wow.
left, then like if the instruments were all set up for the next day, Dad would like let us tinker around on them. And
So like if
That's
like
so
if
fun.
like if it was like a rock band or something that would come in, because there'd always be different bands, and like we could in our lounge room like right here, there's like a big window, so you
window.
can see them carry their gear through, and it's like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And if
That
they
is fucking cool.
and can we swear on this podcast as well?
Oh, go
Yes,
for it, please.
Please.
It makes me much more comfortable because I
Please.
can't.
Fuck it.
say
So
I'm
I've
not
been so
scared.
nervous, and I'm just going to accidentally let it slip because I do swear a lot.
No, don't worry.
Go
So do
for
I.
it. Go for it.
So yeah, so if they had their drum kit out, I was like, fuck yeah, that's like it was the best, because it would like they'd have their like drum kit set up, and Dad would let us go out, and we could like, as long as we didn't play it too hard and move any microphones, we were allowed to go out and like kind of play around on
God,
the
that's
people's
cool.
instruments.
That's so sick.
And so that's kind of how it started, and it was just kind of really fun. I think it was kind of like, I don't know, like if your dad played footy or something, it was like, well, we want to like watch
wanna
him
do
play
what Dad
footy, so it
does.
was kind of like that thing.
Yes.
So it was always music.
And we've
Oh
got
my
two
God.
older sisters who are they're 10 and 20 years older than us, so they're quite a
Oh,
bit
wow.
older than
Oh,
us. So,
wow.
yeah, so Dad was
Yeah.
married before he married our mum, so he had two girls, so they're
Oh, okay.
20 and then
Wow.
so they're 10 years apart as well, but they were super sporty growing up and not musical at all.
Yeah.
So I think when me and Jack were born, Dad was like, right, yeah, I've got another two kids to like.
Music.
You have to like music. Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
like I tried all the sports, like, because in primary school wasn't like
It wasn't
the coolest
particularly
thing,
cool
so
to
I
do
tried
music.
all
Yeah.
sports,
Yeah,
and I sucked at
Aussie rules.
all of them
Yes.
so bad.
I can
so
relate
bad.
to that. Yes.
That's so cool. So in my family, I'm the older sisters. Like, not that I like music, but like me and my sister are like 18 and 17 years older than my dad's like now daughter. So it's like cool
Yeah.
seeing it from that perspective. I hope my
Yeah.
sister, like, I wonder what my sister's going to be into that's different compared to me and my sister.
Yeah,
That's
mean, my-
cool.
My little sister is not into sport at all. I really don't know what she's into actually, but like Roblox. It's so weird
Roblox.
these days, yeah. But like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That you have like that dynamic as well. It's nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and as we've got like when we were younger as well, it felt like such a huge age gap when there's 20 years between you and stuff. But yeah, now it's like we're all just like it feels like we're all the same age now that we're like
Yeah,
all
that's so
adults.
good.
So
That's
nice.
the
Yeah.
best thing when you
Yeah.
basically turned over 18.
Yeah.
Everyone that's old, you kind of age doesn't matter anymore
Because
at
like,
that point.
you can all drink at the pub as well, so it's kind of like
You can all go for a
Exactly.
drink, and
That's
it's really
right.
lovely, you
Yeah.
know, and you can talk about adult things like mortgages
absolutely.
you know.
We're not quite there yet.
And neither am I. Oh.
Me and Jack are still
We're
like
still
mooching at home.
we're still at home, so no more.
I would mooch
just
at home
it.
as well if I had
Are
a
you
full
kidding?
studio there. That's
I
sick.
have a mortgage and I still mooch.
That's so awesome. So that's like how you got into like music and you started to find like a passion for it. Like while you guys were in like the teenage years and stuff, was music something you guys did individually as well as separately? Like how did it end up coming to like the band together?
Yeah.
I feel like it was so we like it's kind of like it was like really young. We kind of did it as kids just for fun, and in primary school we kind of do like if there was like a talent show or something like that, or like you know the
Nice.
grade 6 concerts and all that kind of stuff. Like
Yes.
we'd get together and
Love
do
it.
those kind of things.
Together.
And then I think
so
Together, and you were
It's
grade
so
6 and
lame.
he was like grade 2.
Sorry.
Like,
what's that?
That's pretty lame. Us in our little like primary school little duo.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but you thought it was cool because you're the younger
You're the
one.
youngest.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
You know, all your friends would have been like, "Oh my god, you're playing with your older sister." Right?
no, I reckon it's cool no matter which age.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
I always
but
wished I was talented to go to one of those things. I'm like, I wish I had something, like some form
Except
of
your
talent.
wig just fell off.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, don't worry. My school concerts, every single time something bad happened, like a wig flew off or something, and it just
Oh no.
no.
it was terrible. But continue what you guys are saying.
And then so kind of like that. And then I think when we both kind of started high school, it you know, we like Ruby did ballet for a bit as well, and I tried all the
nice.
sports and stuff like that. And you know, and we would do music kind of on the weekends, and you know, we'd sing for fun, but it wasn't really. It wasn't something like really like let's start a band and like do this, you know, seriously. And then I think maybe about the age of like 14 or 15 or something, I got really into Ed Sheeran. That was like, I think he just put out his like second album. And so yeah, probably like 14, that album came out and I just became obsessed with it. And me and Ruby both became like just really like, oh, we love this. And then I think from there just seeing how he kind of done it was really cool to see, you know, like 'cause at the time in year 8 or something, it was all like the Katy Perry and, you know, Kesha and all that stuff. And I love all those
Kesha.
songs. I love all those songs, but it was like, as I was like, I don't really know how to put those together, like when we're listening to it. Whereas when Ed came out, it was just like a guitar and some piano and, and like singing
Yes.
more like,
We're like, oh,
maybe we could try that, you know?
like that.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like back then, music, he really did change, like bring things back to basics a little
Yes.
bit in the best way possible.
And so like just from that, we were like, oh, I would love to do, like, you know, what he did. And then so we just became obsessed, and we actually went. No, like I found he was going to be outside the project, like the TV show, The Project.
Oh.
And so like I was online with all the stalker girls and all that stuff. Like you know, it's just like Sheeran Lover
fan
99 or whatever it was at the time.
That so much.
And so I found out he's going to be at the project, and so I convinced Ruby and Mum to like, can we go down to the station in it's in like just off Chapel Street or something.
At the Como.
At the Como.
At the Como, okay.
Yeah. And so we went out and waited there outside the project, and there was like probably like 5 other girls who'd figured out he was going to be there.
Well, that means you were good at the stalking as
Yeah.
well. That's good.
It's scary.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Some solid effort. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan. But then so we like waited outside
for
the project.
hours.
Yeah.
And then Mum was like, right, we've been waiting here for like 4 hours. He's not coming out. Like, let's just go home. And Jack's like,
Aw,
nah, I'm not
yeah.
leaving. Like, he's definitely going to come out. Like, I know it.
I was just so sure. I was like, he's going to come out. I know it. And like,
Aw.
because I'd read that he'd met his like his hero Damien Rice when he was like about the same age as well.
Yeah.
So Jack
My mum
was
went
like,
and saw him last week, actually, Damien Rice.
did you actually?
Was it? How was it?
Mum loved it. Mum and my sister drove all the way to Geelong to go watch him, and they were like
wow.
obsessed. Yeah.
Oh,
One
that's
day you guys
amazing.
will play with him, I reckon.
Hell yeah.
So good.
He's amazing.
But Jack was like, Ed met Damien Rice at this age. Like, if I meet him, then, like, you know, then
my
we can, like,
God.
do this and it'll be this big, you know, like, he'd built this whole idea up for me. And
You
I'm like,
saw the
yeah,
vision.
like, I love that. Like,
it was like
wait
a
and
big
see.
sign.
Yeah, and then finally,
And so,
Ed
and
came out.
we almost left too, because a few people had like left because it'd been like 3 hours. So like he's probably gone out the back, you know. He's just flown
Yeah.
in, you know. He's like, and then so we like waited an extra half an hour, and then he like popped out,
Came and said hi.
came through. He came and said hello. Took a photo. I'd actually drawn him a picture as well because I was.
Oh my God, we
looked
saw
on Instagram
it.
and saw.
Oh, did you see that?
Saw it.
Yes.
You're
did
an
so
amazing
good.
drawer.
Oh, thank you.
That was amazing.
Yeah, because I didn't do sport. I had a lot of time on my hands.
Music and drawing.
I did, and so I gave him that, and he signed. We brought like our vinyl, and he signed it. We said hello, and I did put my email on the back of the drawing just in case he was moved
idea.
by my stencil work, but
Yeah.
didn't hear back.
Did you ever
That's
get
okay.
an email? Oh, no.
You might find that one day and be like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that kid. I wonder what he's doing now.
Remember the
you
stencil
doing
drawing, man? And so literally after that, after we met him, it was just like we came home and we wrote our first song that night.
That's so cool.
And then we
Wow.
started, looked at, he did busking first. So we're like, okay, let's go busking. So we went out and busked outside Baker's Delight and
Oh, that's
around
so
the corner.
cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so we just started working up, then open mic nights, and then pubs, and so we just kind of tried to do it. We just tried to kind of do it the way that he's kind of done it. And so that's how it started. So yeah.
Wow, what's busking like?
Yeah,
Did you
tell
get a lot
us.
of good attention from that?
I reckon we had one really good day, and it was like one of the first days we had like a great day. And then I remember standing outside Coles, like in like around where we live, and I reckon we stood there for like 3 hours and like made like $3.20, and me and Jack like, oh, this is tough. I don't know.
Like,
it's
it's
gonna work out.
stuff.
It would buy a lot of raspberry crystals.
It's like
That's
yeah,
right.
literally,
It was-
like
yeah,
straight
it's
into Coles.
So
like,
location. It's so location. And I think.
It is location and time, I reckon.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
And I think we may have got I think around like near where Baker's Delight is, it's one of those kind of like, one of those places where there's a lot of shops and kind of one of those kind of like, there's
And they always
Baker's,
have
there's
buskers
Brumbies,
there.
and there's buskers.
Yeah.
That's where buskers would go round at our place. So we're like, well, that must be the spot to go. And yeah, I was a late bloomer, so I feel like I got the kiddie. The kiddie kind of
Yeah,
thing
the
as well,
sympathy.
the sympathy
Yeah.
kid
They're
look.
like, please, sir, may I have some more? Like,
Even though I was like 15, I looked like 8, so it probably helps as well.
Oh, poor
But yeah,
kid.
that was like, and Mum would like sit in the car and just watch because she's like, I don't want to embarrass you. Like, I'll just sit in the car. And,
Oh,
like,
that's so
watch.
sweet.
That's so sweet. She was so
Yes.
supportive, though. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
You are,
Yeah.
our parents are the best. They're like, they still drive us to all our gigs and stuff if they're in the
so
city
nice.
and we can't park.
That.
Yeah, it was definitely like the first couple of times busking was like, oh, like it's raw and live, and you just gotta like
Yeah.
thrown into the deep end a little bit.
I feel like it's a great learning experience, and I like that you guys are trying to like follow that same path because clearly he got to where he is and is as humble as he is because of those
Yes.
beginnings. So like to
Yeah.
even have that experience busking and seeing what it's like for everyone that's had to go through that end of things is really cool.
Yeah.
And really cool that you guys put yourself in that position because obviously
Yeah.
like having the like studio at home and your dad and stuff, like it could, like you could have easily just been like, Dad, let's all write something together and produce something
Yeah.
straight off the bat.
Yeah.
But to go through like and put yourself out there in that way, I think that's really special.
Yeah.
Like to be that insightful about it.
Yeah, our dad was pretty hard on the like kind of earning your stripes and doing it like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
because we love
That's
our,
really
like,
good. That's awesome.
Our favorite band is like In Excess in terms of like Aussie bands.
Yes.
Good choice.
And
Yes.
and I think and Dad was kind of saying at the that's kind of how they did it. They went out and did like quite a few years of playing pub gigs every week and kind of rough pubs and
Yeah.
Melbourne pubs and like kind of
Yeah.
honing your thing, doing that for a few years, and so we've tried to do it.
Well,
do it that
that's
way
good
as well.
for you guys. At least you know that you made it happen.
Yeah.
That all the success that you've achieved is purely from your own
Hard work.
hard work.
Genuine work.
Yeah.
I think it's really easy as well, like today's age, to like kind of go straight onto social media and use that as the platform to like
Yeah.
put your name out there. But like a mixture of both, or even just going into pubs and bars and stuff. Like because I like going to live music events a lot. Like a lot of the time I'll find artists that I like because they were the person performing before another person. And like putting yourself in those positions, it kind of like leaves space for people that really, really enjoy that sound of music
Yeah,
to actually
exactly.
to find you. Yeah, like on TikTok you can like scroll and find someone, but it's not the same as like people that actually actively go to things will actively be at your gig. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're finding the right kind of audience.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love that. When we go to a concert, I always go like we'll always go see like the the opening act, or if there's two, we'll go watch the whole thing. It's I found a lot of people I like that.
Yeah, I find it odd when people rock up to the show like just before the main act gets there. I'm like, you missed like half the thing. Like, why?
I know.
Like, what is the point of coming if you're going to miss like the first two amazing people that were actually so talented? Nice. So that first song you guys wrote when you got home from seeing Ed Sheeran, is that one of the songs that we listen to now, or is that a song?
Oh no, that was shit house. That was not good. That was no good. Yes, there was quite a few ones that were like, oh. And it was, it would like, it's nice that mum and dad were like, oh, they're great, keep writing. But they weren't very good.
They weren't, yeah.
Oh, that's so cute, man.
That's so cute, though.
That's so cute.
Tell us about the writing behind your music now. Like, I know there's a really cool backstory to She Wants to Be Loved. Like, please tell us about that.
That kind of came from going to those kind of first, those parties in high school and stuff like that. The first kind of boy-girl parties in high school. And there was a friend, a girlfriend of mine who was from another school. In that kind of like year 10, 11, there's parties quite like, every couple of weeks and stuff like that.
Of course,
kind of things. And I'd see her upset at like the end of the night, like every other week. I sort of like, it happened a few times in a row, and I just started to like really like, in between all the party stuff, just started to like really kind of like stay with me after after the night.
It's so sensitive.
I know, it's so sensitive.
Yeah, oh my God.
And I was an emotional kid.
Yeah, so was I. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, so it kind of like that kind of stayed with me, and then I feel like I saw, some of my other friends, like guys as well, who would be like, upset because something's happened or something like that at the end of the night. So I just kind of started to see it like happen quite a bit. But it was mainly this girl who's a friend of mine who I kept seeing upset, and then I think one night it was like, just for whatever reason, I came home and just wrote a few lines down basically. And then I kind of showed Ruby and talked to Ruby about it, and she was like, oh, I know exactly how she feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we kind of sat down and finished the song together basically.
That's so beautiful.
That is so nice. Did you ever talk to her about it?
I haven't, no.
Oh, so she doesn't know that she's the person. That's cool. I think, probably better not to, just in case. But, like, I think that, like, I don't know if I would say it's this person.
Yeah,
the song itself, it's such a perfect, like, I think you've said it before, Ruby, like, it's a song that I think a lot of people can relate to.
Yes.
Like, where you've either felt it or you've seen a friend or a close person feel that way before, especially when you're, like, 16 to 18 going to parties and you're watching other girls get attention, or you're watching other people fall in love, and you're kind of just wanting that as well. And so you're going to do anything you can to sort of put yourself in that position. But it's just like someone that's really desperate for connection, and it's so insightful that you were able to see that through just watching this girl, because I assume a lot of other people your age were just watching and being like, oh, she's crying again tonight, and then not thinking anything else of it. But you to be that insightful and to sit and have that stay with you, that's a really, really beautiful power you have, Jack, to be able to see that side of things and to have that amount of empathy and insight. You should that's a gift.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
Grew up with three sisters as well, so
exactly.
You'd see us come home and be like.
I'd see Ruby upset after
be crying after, whatever. I cry. So Jack's like,
I cry.
But yeah, I think three sisters, and then we've only got, it's like all our family is all girls as well. Like
Jack's
all the cousins is like 7
Yeah.
girl cousins. So,
Oh my goodness.
Helped a lot.
but
Yeah.
but I feel like I've definitely felt like that as well when it's like, if I was like those first parties where I'm like, I'm shy, I'm just going to drink a few more drinks than I probably would have because I want to, feel a little bit more confident, or just that kind of stuff.
So many lines in the song felt so familiar to me. Like pretty much one of the first lines in the song where it's like she's 15 but acts like she's 19. That was me as a teenager. I tried to act way older than what I was to feel like the cool person to try and get that attention. So it's so relatable.
Oh, definitely relatable. It really hooks you in from the first sentence, like you said. Like, I think it's a song that is going to go a long way. And I also saw that you guys posted that it is often played straight after Ed Sheeran as well. And like that YouTube playlist thing. And I was like, that it's perfectly makes, like, you can tell that there's inspiration from him in the song.
Aligning.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I think it may have only happened the one time. So I think as soon as we saw it, we just kept checking. I was like, grab it, screen.
Yeah, you got to screenshot that stuff.
But no, thank you. That's very cool. That's very kind. Thanks for listening to it as well. Thanks for listening to the.
Of course,
song.
it's actually a beautiful song.
It's a really beautiful song.
Yeah, and your voice is fantastic. Like, both of your voices are fantastic. Yeah. The video clip was really cool as well. Yeah, like I really liked everything about it, and I think it's music like that. Like, it's got a purpose. Like, it's about something, and there's a girl that's probably going to be 15, 16 in generations to come that's going to listen to that song. And she's still going to feel heard and seen and validated. So that's important in music, in my opinion, like a song that has a bit of purpose to it. Tell us about Don't You Think It's Funny as well. We're very interested to hear the background of Don't You Think It's Funny.
It's like probably a contrast from the first one, but the probably the first whole group of songs are very like, some of them were written a couple of years ago too and are only kind of getting released now as well.
Yeah.
But they're all quite... us kind of looking at situations as well, like quite naively, and experiencing things for like the first time, or seeing our friends experience things for the first time. So Don't You Think It's Funny was actually inspired by schoolies a little bit.
Ooh, okay. Do tell.
From Jack. That was a bit more Jack's story than my story. But it's on a surface level for us. That song was one we often play live, and is one that like people sing back quite fast. So we were like, we really want to release this song next because like we love playing live. It's probably like one of our favourite things. So we wanted an up-tempo kind of song to come out next.
Kind of like, because like we were saying, playing in the pub and stuff like that, like there's like a, She Wants to Be Loved is quite like, it's a bit of a acoustic kind of ballady kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when we're playing live, it's like, we really want something like a bit faster
that
people can, can dance, like cry and then dance, then cry and then dance.
Yeah, exactly. You want that.
So yeah, the lyrics are, Don't You Think It's Funny? Like on the surface, you could just like listen and get by, but they're like a little bit cheeky in bits, which is like fun to sing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of that like meeting someone for the first time kind of thing and being like, oh, is this something? Is it not? Is it just like little fleeting fling, or like and it was just one of those phrases that like we'd catch ourselves saying like, don't you think it's funny how blah 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 blah, or,
oh
like,
so yeah,
it's funny that like blah blah, and we were like, oh, that's kind of cool, like maybe we should like try and write a song about like using that title. And so yeah, that's kind of how that one.
Yeah, it's like, don't you think it's funny she doesn't answer my text messages anymore? Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But it is true. I think I've even said that myself. Like, don't you think
I
it's
think
funny
I've
this
said
happens?
that to you a million times.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's funny that I don't know?
Not funny at all, but yeah.
No, it's not funny.
Yeah, it's never funny.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. How was shooting the music video for that?
Yes.
Like, I really like the scenery and everything. It was so nice. The editing was very well done in the... Like, I'm very into photography, so, like, the little photos you guys post, I'm so into them. They look so good, the vibe.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so the kind of, in this song, it's kind of like, we met at the beach, so we're like, beach? Like,
yeah.
Let's go for something.
Beach it is. And so we did it at Half Moon Bay.
Beautiful.
Oh, very
nice. This guy, Tom Dunphy, directed it and kind of was the DOP for it. And because we were looking at, like, videos and other people's videos, and there was a Spacey Jane video we really liked, and we were looking at people like, who did that one? We were like, it's Tom, and we're like, there's no way we can get him,
Should we just
DM him anyway? And then he was like, he's like, I'm free, I'll do it. And we're like,
how good is that?
Sweet. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Sometimes it's just about asking a question and like just hoping for the best. You never know how sweet someone is on the other end.
You never know who's going to say yes.
Exactly.
It's so funny because sometimes it was almost like, no, never mind.
We
like,
won't ask him.
Obviously
not going to be able to use him.
It was so close to being like, never mind, we just won't ask him. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. It's sometimes you just have to
always
ask.
We've learned that.
What's
learned
gonna
that
happen?
with the podcast as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's so shocking how many people, even if they can't go ahead with it, like how many people actually reply to you that you think you're like, they would not have the time to do that for me, or to like to even respond back. But it's amazing how like it kind of, once you put yourself out there and ask people the question, even if you think you're not going to get the response, it's like kind of reassuring that the world is a nice place.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh, like this person actually has time for me. Like I'm not like, I don't need to be up at the same level as them for them to
even
the time of
getting
day.
a rejection.
Yeah.
And them saying, oh, sorry, we can't do right now. It's still, you just never know what would happen. Always ask.
Yeah.
Always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're really surprised, and then so we were like,
freaking awesome.
We're like, oh, wicked. And then so we started talking about the video, and he was like, oh, let's maybe go to Half Moon Bay because there's some nice beaches to take photos and videos and stuff like that. And so we did it, and then the only hard thing was carrying our instruments all the way to because Ruby plays a big piano.
Yeah.
And so we had to, we start the videos on there's like a cliff kind of rock thing.
Yes, yeah.
But we had to carry that. I had to carry that
Jack,
down.
I was gonna say, like, I would not be able to carry.
All the way down the beach, all the way down like the big the rock path, and then all the way across the
sand, all the way
up the video. So by the time
jump across rocks together.
by the time it was like, all right, action, it was like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I was like, well, can't you just play the tambourine or something? Trying shakers,
anything else? Yeah,
percussion, those ones. Yeah,
little
I know what you're talking about. Little cymbals.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not a drum set.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was
Could be worse.
Yeah, I feel like a drum kit, you can pack it away kind of
Yeah, but
nice.
you got to set
You kinda
it up.
can pack
it
all of that
away.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was part of those things was funny, and it was really windy, so it was like trying to hold the keyboard and the everything on the rocks.
Yeah.
Fly away into the water.
And Tom's idea, one of them was like, all right, now I want you guys to jump in the water and play around in the water.
I know, I saw your
Yes.
pants in the water. I'm like, I wonder what was going through her mind as her pants were in the water.
And Jack's running around, and because I had heels on when I was on the beach, but my pants were really long and they were getting stuck into the sand.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I can't move.
Yeah.
I was like, I just can't really move.
Yeah.
And yeah, because when the idea, he was like, I want you guys to kind of play around in the water. I was like, oh, this could look. I'm like, oh, this could look like Dawson's Creek or something if we're not.
Oh no.
I was like, I don't know how this is going to look.
No,
but he was right.
No,
It
it
looked,
looked
and
really
I actually,
cool,
I really
so
liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. The only other funny thing was where we were setting up to play. It was right next to the topless bit of the beach,
I didn't even know there was a
which
topless
I didn't
I
even
know that there's
realize. I
topless
didn't
there.
realize
Okay.
it's behind the cliff. It may have just been a weird day, but I think that is where.
As in topless, as in no one's wearing a top.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
And we were like, oh my god, this camera's
But what didn't look good is there's a big camera up looking down at the stuff, so we had to be
no.
like, everyone, we're just filming
everyone
over here.
okay?
Like that's if you're
not
right, we're just
filming
filming over here.
Non-disclosure agreements.
But
Everyone was pretty cool.
Everyone was pretty
cool.
cool.
Can I be in it?
Everyone was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I feel like if
I
they're
mean,
already at a topless
if you're
beach, they're
happy
very
to be
comfortable with their
topless at
body.
the beach,
Yeah.
surely.
Yeah. They're comfortable. It's
Yeah.
good. Oh, no, it turned out beautiful. It really, really looked great. And I'm really glad that the Spacey, that you had the same director, because that's really cool.
Yeah, that's
that
really
they
awesome.
said yes.
Cool.
The next question we had for you guys was the question we ask all of our guests, which is, could you please list out 3 songs that bring that you feel connection to and why?
We thought about this a little bit, and we thought we'll do a bit of a broad 3.
Yeah.
I
Are
think
you
the
guys
first-
going to do them together or individually? You reckon?
I think
We can do
we
them
kind of
together.
agreed on 3 together, kind of.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
But we'll see it. We'll see. Ruby might
Jack
be like,
might go
that's not the
rogue."
second one. The first one was "If I Fell" by the Beatles.
Oh my god, what a brilliant song.
Cool.
Choice. Good choice.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
It was
Mwah.
like the first one of the first songs we ever sang together, because it's like a harmony the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And that was before my voice broke, so I was singing the high harmony.
Yeah,
And-
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so when we used to just sing that all the time, that was kind of if it was at our nan's house or something, and it was like, oh guys,
Jack,
sing a
get up
song,
and do a
and
song.
we'd always sing that one because it was kind of like the first song we sang together.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
I
Beatles
love
were
it.
like, yeah, Beatles were like religion at our house.
Same with hers. Well, both. But her
yeah,
house is
they-
massive.
You can see like the on the wall. We don't have any like. It's just there's no photos of us. It's just
It's
Beatles.
just
I love
like
it.
music and Beatles stuff. And, like,
There is no like you can see us Crosby, Stills and Nash. There's none of us. There's none of
just like some music
it so much.
memorabilia house.
Yeah,
That is
there
exactly what my house is going to look like.
I love it.
So yeah, Jack was like, especially when you were like 3 or 4, just like obsessed with John Lennon. Like Jack would run around and be like, "Mum, like I could be John Lennon, like because
God,
he's
you
dead
really
now, so
could.
I could be him." Mum was like, "Oh
Like
my god, this kid's like a
reincarnated.
little
Yes,
like,
I always
Yeah, I
think
think-
that way too.
got
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Yes, I always think I'm like, well, like really, they died before I was born, so like I could be them, like that could be
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you guys go to the Paul McCartney concert?
Yeah,
we did actually.
So
Did
did
actually.
we.
Our uncle actually got us tickets.
That's amazing.
We wouldn't have been able to afford.
We didn't have tickets. That was like they were pretty. They were pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But so worth it. Like it
was
the
so
best
good,
concert.
right?
Did you guys go as well?
Yeah, she was up close.
I was
a bit
up
further
really
back.
close. I was up. So they had, like, I don't want to call it mosh because we weren't really moshing, but I was at the front there, and you had like 10 rows of seats, and then a bit of a gap, and then another 10 row. I was at the front of the second gap.
Oh my god.
That is
So
so cool.
it
Oh my
was,
gosh.
I could basically smell his sweat.
Yeah.
Like it was
it's-
amazing.
That is unreal.
And it's like it's a
Yes.
fucking beetle. Like
It's a fucking
it's
It's a beetle.
like
So
Insane.
Yeah, to be in the same stadium was just like, wow, I can't believe in
unbelievable.
my lifetime I've gotten to see Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
it's
A cool experience for all 4 of us. It's nice.
Yeah.
and yeah, it was like goosebumps and some of those like the everyone's singing Hey Jude and all like Blackbird and all these. It's like I just can't
Yes.
believe it.
Yeah.
I was like
For
bawling
sure.
my eyes out in yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so nice.
I like it. Marvel movies and Beatles. That's
That's
I
good.
knew I liked the
Yeah.
podcast. I knew I liked it. Oh yeah, and then so the second one is 18 by Ed Sheeran.
Oh, beautiful.
That's kind of the video. Was the first thing thing we saw of him online, and it wasn't something that like our dad or mum had shown us. It was like we just found it on YouTube, and so that was kind of like the first I think like song or music that we found like
Artists we
found
both
ourselves.
liked and really, yeah.
that wasn't shown to us. It was kind of like
Yeah.
like something that we found. And so then that all this. Then it went into the drawings and stalking. So
Yes, it really led. Hey, it was worth it. You got to see him.
that's right.
well, you are
yeah.
where you are now because of the drawing and the stalking,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if he hadn't have like stopped and said hello to us, I'm not sure if we'd actually.
And I feel like it's like that
Who
mantra as
knows?
well of like how like he's like so kind and so nice and took
Yeah.
the time that like try to like remember that energy too.
That's so beautiful. Yeah.
I love that so much.
But yeah, so if he hadn't have stopped, I don't know. I actually don't know if we'd be doing any of this stuff.
Yeah, it could have ended up in a very different situation, like the song "Stand" by Eminem. Like you don't write back to your fan, and then they like,
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
drive off the
yeah,
bridge.
yeah.
yeah,
That's
Yes.
right.
exactly.
That's a very good point.
It's a good point. That's why his mantra is so good because like he's literally inspired you guys, and imagine how many other people to continue like doing and fighting for their dream.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
and it's funny you say Eminem.
Our
'Cause
last song.
the last song.
What is that? Everything's meant to be.
Literally.
That's weird. That's really weird. It's My Band by Eminem and D12.
Oh, you guys, I love that song so
What a
much.
great song.
Had tickets to go see Snoop Dogg
Oh.
recently.
Yeah.
And D12 were the support act, and we unfortunately had a gig that night, so we couldn't actually go to the show.
Oh, no.
So we were like,
We used to
damn
do it.
it,
We
we've been
used
waiting
to, we
for
used to
so
do it all
long.
the time because, like, concerts like 6 months in advance. We'd always book. We get
tickets.
excited, buy tickets, and then realize we've got gigs on. So we've
damn,
like just
give away
stopped doing
tickets,
that
like-
now. So
Oh, but if it happens in the future, just message me and I'll buy the tickets off you guys because
we'll
just give you the tickets.
absolutely. Yeah, we'll just give you guys the tickets.
And some of Jack's mates still went and they were like, oh, the band like supporting him were like awesome, D12, like blah blah, and we were like, oh, like I haven't really listened to a heap of their songs. And then
Like my best mate was like the best song of like the whole gig was
My Band.
My Band.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it's so
So
good.
that's like our new little like hype up song in the car if we're like driving to gigs or like going
So
to shows.
good.
So we'll
It's
pump
so
that
fun.
we'll pump that song in the car, and like we just we did like a festival kind of thing a month ago or like a month and a bit ago, and that was like our pump up song for every show, because it was kind of like, you know, these people don't know the name of my band, and
Yeah,
like we're a new
exactly.
band trying to get, you know, getting out there. So it was kind of funny. That was
so
our like
good.
It was
pump
just
up
like a
song.
fun song.
It was just fun.
Even the fact that like if you're supporting someone else, it's like, because they're like talking about how like he gets 90 and they only get 10%, but it's like the same thing in like a concert. Like that person that's headlining is getting all this attention. You guys are like, oh, we're still here, you know?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh, I actually love that song.
100%.
It's literally, it's a perfect pump up song, especially for your situation.
Yeah.
But in general, it is like actual chef's kiss of a song. And
Oh,
the little
yeah,
part at
Jack
the
as
end
well.
when he gets all like funky and all Mexican, I love it.
Yeah,
That's literally our favorite. I'm the lead singer
Yes.
of the band. That's literally our favorite bit. So that's like a new one as well. So we thought we'd like put that one in there. That's our like new like pump up song before a gig.
Oh,
love
how
it so
wonderful,
much.
guys. How wonderful.
Oh, great choices in music,
Great
guys.
choices.
And I like what you said, like, it's true, especially when you have a very musical family or a family that's really into music. I was the same. It's like every song you listen to, you know it because your parents gave it to you. And when
Yeah.
you finally find music on your own and you're exploring your own
it's-
sound, it
it's
is a really
different.
magical process,
Yeah.
right? Like, you just feel like, wow, like there's even more than like, I already have such a cool collection, but
I
there's
know.
like so many other sounds that I can get into. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
What was your guys' first kind of thing like that, where it was like something that you kind of found yourself, or a song or an artist, or like a
To be honest, the Beatles for me.
yeah?
Like, my mum and my dad were big fans, but for years I thought my dad didn't like music. So we didn't necessarily
Yeah.
talk about music all the time.
Yeah.
So I was watching the channel Max. Rest in peace, because I really miss that channel.
Yeah,
yeah.
music, Foxtel.
And it must have been an anniversary, and it just had Beatles songs all day. And I was like, hey, I know that song, because it was Can't Buy Me Love, and I'd heard it in The Simpsons, if you remember that episode.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, hey, that's a Beatles song. And then it just kind of started from there, and I'm like, my mind exploded, and I haven't been the same since.
I think mine is probably John Mayer. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
because like mum and dad didn't really listen to John Mayer much, and then when I was like I got into Bodies of Wonderland because I used to play. So when I was 15, I worked at a bowling alley, so I was watching music videos all day, and I remember Bodies of Wonderland started playing, and I was like, oh, I love this song. And then like slowly I like looked into more things on YouTube, and I was so into it. And yeah, and then I went see John Mayer live twice, and I was like listening to his stories, like as between his performances and him explaining the background to songs and his own reasoning to things, like literally just like got to me so much. But aside from John Mayer, also at that same job, I listened to Bruce Springsteen a lot, and I got
yeah.
I'm so into Bruce Springsteen. Like I literally go to bed thinking about him every night. Not because I'm like in love with him, but like I just need to be.
That's what I do.
Yeah, but like I am like desperate. Like I have this inkling right now, like that I'm going to dance on stage with him, like in Dancing in the Dark,
You
the music
freaking
video,
will. You
and it will
will.
happen. Like I have this,
Yes.
like like it's
Oh,
just.
and
gonna
he's
happen.
he's not stopping anytime soon. He's like
No.
he's a
Like,
machine.
killing
He's a
it.
machine.
yeah, that'll-
when I saw him live,
That'll
I was so excited because when I saw him live, I went to get tickets and I didn't get tickets where I wanted to get tickets. Like my friend ended up buying the tickets for us, and they picked tickets that were like in the mosh but further back. And I said to him, I was like, 100% whoever's in the front row will go on stage with him. Like he does this at every concert, he brings them up on stage.
Yeah.
And they were like, nah, they're not gonna go on. He's not gonna do that. And he brought like
Don't tell me it
20
happened.
20 of them. He brought so
Oh,
many people, like the whole
Oh, you would have been there for sure.
Yes,
you would have been there for sure.
And so now I'm like, I'm gonna go travel the world next year and just follow him in whatever area he's in and just go to every gig until I can get on stage.
Yeah.
He's like my life mission at this point.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah.
I think it
It'll
will.
happen. If you
I
believe
really
hard
am so
enough, it'll
dedicated
happen.
to
Yeah.
the cause.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yes, but he's the one person similar to you with Ed Sheeran. I think I would, if he was in Melbourne again, I'm on the stalking straight away.
Let's do it. Let's stalk.
Yeah.
Stalk the boss.
I'm so
Yeah.
keen.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
At the moment, I'm in this phase where I want to stalk Misha Barton because she's in Melbourne at the moment because she's in.
Oh, she here? Oh, yeah, because she's on
in
Bloody
Neighbours.
Neighbours now.
I
saw that.
Back. Yeah, and I'm like,
I saw that. I thought it was a joke when it
Same.
came up on Instagram. I was like, really?
but I'm like, I wonder, she must be in like Vermont somewhere, so I have to go find her.
Just go like, drive around the area.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Like,
I mean,
oh,
that's-
maybe the 7-Eleven.
We love.
That's like one of our comfort shows.
We love the
love
OC. OC is like our
I
favorite
think
show.
that
I
Neighbours.
love the OC. Oh no, we used to watch that because that used to
yeah.
be the home from schools, like Neighbours. Was it Simpsons and then Neighbours or Neighbours and
Yes.
Simpsons?
Yes,
Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
our. That was
Yeah,
the,
for sure.
You kind of have the vibe of Ryan from the OC. Like your face is not that different to his face.
There you go, Joe.
Is that Ryan?
Yeah,
Ryan-
Ryan.
is Ryan
Yeah,
the
Ryan.
main
Ryan's
one?
the best.
Ryan
Ryan's
the main one?
the main guy.
The one that's with Misha?
Yes.
Sorry, I haven't watched the OC.
Yes.
No, that's okay.
Apologize.
You guys were with Pete Murray on his tour.
Oh my god.
How did that happen?
That's right,
So cool.
Yeah.
That was very that was really that was really cool.
Yeah.
That is
How did that
insane.
happen?
The guy kind of who runs our label worked with Pete Murray quite a bit, and is kind of his agent, and so books a lot of his shows. And so I think he, I'm pretty sure he sent Pete Murray our music when he was going on this tour last year, and I believe that he was like, yeah, these guys can, these guys are okay. They can come and open up for me. So I'm very lucky, and he's one of those ones where it was like that was in the like mum and dad CD collection. So that was like really that was really crazy.
Very surreal to get
Very
that one.
surreal.
Yeah, I was gonna
So that was
say.
like really lucky, and so yeah, it was such a cool learning. That was like our first tour kind of around Australia as well, like
Yeah.
doing a kind of full touring, and it was a regional tour, so it was like right into like it wasn't just like
Capital cities.
capital cities. It was like
Yeah.
Queensland, Gladstone, like Mission Beach, all these like
So sick.
And we like haven't done a heap of traveling, so it was like so exciting to like
Oh,
go to all these different
wow.
places and play different rooms, and just like such a legend. He like,
so
had
cool.
so much time for us on tour,
really
like be like come and have dinner with us and like sit with
Oh
them
my
and
God.
talk music, and like yeah, he was just so cool. And
That's fucking
yeah,
cool.
so the second this Don't You Think It's Funny, that song that just came out, that was his favourite song of ours from playing on tour. So I feel like we were like,
if Pete
after
Murray
he
likes
said that,
it, like
we were like, all right, that has to be the second single. Like,
it's got to be.
Yeah, of course.
Pete
Oh
Murray
my
likes it.
goodness.
Let's put that one out next. So
Oh, that's so exciting. How nice
no,
is
that
his
was very
voice?
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, he's like got that
He's
same
so
thing that John
good.
Mayer does. It's kind of like, yeah,
smooth,
I get why there's a lot of like, there's not many men here. Like at the gigs, it's it's like
yeah.
a lot of like our mum was like, oh, I'll come to the show. Like
I was like, oh,
I was like,
Because of
okay,
you guys.
yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
But no, so yeah, it was
Wow.
really,
Amazing
it was very, it was really opportunity. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
really good opportunity.
That's
and it was,
amazing.
very lucky to get the the tour so early on. Grateful to him
him.
to let us come, and he actually got us on stage at the last show, and we sang opportunity with him at the last show. So that was
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
in
so
Torquay.
cool.
That's
So that was it.
amazing.
It's like stuff like that you don't really need to do. Like as
yeah, he didn't have
No.
to be so nice.
Yeah, you don't
to
have
us.
to. You don't have
No,
to do it. And we
you
weren't
don't have
expecting. You
to.
don't have to do any of that stuff. So that was
No, definitely not.
so
really cool.
for sure.
Yeah, of course. That's so lovely. I love when people go the extra mile for their
yeah.
people that are supporting
I
them.
love hearing when musicians are actually humble and they actually take the time to speak to the people that they work with or their fans and
Yeah.
stuff, like Ed Sheeran and Pete Murray. Like that's it's really nice.
I've actually everyone we've spoken to, I don't think I've had anyone say they've had a bad experience, which is nice because I feel like sometimes it's just like the media just playing on like
You
the whole
only hear
diva
the bad
thing.
shit. Yeah.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a lot of the people
100%.
that are musicians are very emotional, and like I feel like they would always have the time of day. It's just like maybe other things get in the way sometimes. But that sounds so.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Makes
It's not
me so
breaking news
happy.
to be like, oh, he was really nice.
he was really nice.
But
yeah.
it's sad because sometimes you don't know, like, because no one gets to speak to them. No, that's awesome.
So yeah, no, that was really cool. And like flying, I'm not a good flyer, so that was like good.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh,
fire.
experience, practice.
That was a good experience. There was like one of those
Yeah.
little planes. It was like the,
on like the little
propeller
regional,
plane.
like
One of those
Yeah,
planes.
where you gotta flip the thing.
Oh, you get it started. I was waiting for someone to come out and like blow the thing started.
Wearing the goggles and you got the
Yeah,
scarf blowing.
Oh,
Jack's like sweating on the plane,
I was-
like
I
he's
mean,
like
I was-
gripped on.
I
like,
was basically just talking to God for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I bet. That whole ride.
and it was just, yeah, that was interesting. That was like,
and we were on a plane with like all like locals, so they're all just like sitting there
they're,
chilling.
they're,
Jack's
so
like
they're all,
pretty
they're
much
all,
crying
they're
in
all
the
used to
corner.
it. Like the plane's like literally just going like this, and they're all,
shit.
all the locals are like, oh, what's, like talking about their kids. Oh, what are you doing on the weekend? And like,
And you're just like,
well, I'm,
clutching.
Jack's like literally gripped on like,
like, I was literally like,
Eyes
wrapped,
shut.
eyes shut.
everyone's like laughing. They're like,
And
just
everyone's
pretend it's a roller coaster.
and everyone's laughing. Yeah, this lady's like sitting next to me, just laughing, being like, "Just pretend it's a roller coaster." I'm like, I hate those.
Stop talking.
That is not funny either.
And then I was so happy when the plane landed that I like jumped up and I smashed my head on the roof and then fell over.
Because they're small as well. The
They're
little
little,
rooms in
yeah.
there.
So I was so excited that I popped up
concussed
and
yourself.
fell over.
It was just,
And so it was like, yeah. So every other flight after that one has been like really cool. So
No, that's good.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
slowly, it's like slowly practicing. So when you guys go like national and like world tour, it's all done.
You know, you'll be business class, so it'll be nothing.
Yeah.
By then, you know.
Hopefully.
I'm even thinking just get the Queen Mary and just do a boat instead. I don't know.
I don't know. Boats freak me out, man. Large bodies
Yeah,
of water.
See, even boats, yeah, I
I
don't know.
Yeah,
They
I-
freak me
scary.
out more than planes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I used to be the same. I was very, very terrified of traveling on the plane. Like, I used to have this pillow I would take with me everywhere, like a little, you know, IKEA have those pillows with the hands. Like, have you
Yeah.
seen them? Yeah, I
yes,
have one
yes,
of them, and
yes.
it's like my like safety net thing. So when I was an adult, still like earlier adult, and I would fly anywhere, I'd bring that pillow with me and I'd just cry and hold it the whole time. But you know what changed the game for me is when I flew by myself, I no longer was afraid. I think I was like constantly terrified something was going to happen to the people I was with. That like when I was by myself, I'm like, okay, it's okay, I'll survive, it's fine. But yeah, so it
interesting.
shifted it for me, and now I can
I
travel
might
all
have
the
to.
time.
I might have to try that.
Yeah,
Try
maybe
it.
start with a small flight. Start with a small
Yes.
flight, not
Yeah.
like maybe across to Europe or anything. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta make sure that whoever's next to me, like, do
Yeah.
you mind if you hold my hand if it gets?
Yeah. Exactly. Just like, do you mind if I just clutch onto you?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. The last question we had for you guys is, if you could talk to your inner child or younger self, what is something you would say to them now? And you can answer it separately if you guys want.
We actually had a chat about this earlier
Yeah.
too.
I think definitely. I was quite I was a very nervous little fella when I was younger. Like,
Yeah.
Shy.
I was very shy and like really nervous, and so I used to worry a lot too. So I feel like I'd probably just be like, "You don't have to worry as much, buddy. Like, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's okay." So I think that would be mine, and maybe like the Powerball numbers or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, just remember Ed Sheeran is going to be at this spot. in
That's
a couple
right.
of years.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Ruby?
I think there's definitely like probably the same as like when I was a teenager as well. Just like get through these years, and it like gets like better
Yeah.
as you get older.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like everything happens for a reason. I think that's like something our like mum always told us too. And like if you want something, like you can make anything happen. Just like keep working really hard. But
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
I
you're good.
listened to a couple episodes. I haven't heard anyone ask you guys. Do you have?
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, what I would
Sorry,
say.
I don't
to
put you on the
myself-
spot.
No, I like being put on the spot. It's fine. I was also very, very anxious when I was a kid. Like, really, like, just went through a lot as a child. Not anything, actually, just more mental stuff. I think I would just tell myself that, like, it's okay that you're scared sometimes. Like, you don't have to, like, it's okay that you might feel a little bit different and you might feel like no one really understands you right now. But as long as you do everything possible to understand yourself, then you can like educate the people around you
Absolutely.
yeah.
and help them like support you, even if they don't know how to at this time in your life.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because I
Yeah, it's
think,
really cool.
definitely I'm very much the case in my life where I had to take my own hand and like guide myself through life. No one did that for me. So, yeah, I would just make sure I let her know that she's loved and that she feels safe and that things, like you said, things do get better. Yeah. And you don't have to be so
really cool.
scared of everything all the time. Like, I was
Yeah.
petrified of
Yeah.
everything all the time.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I'd probably tell myself to not rush. I feel like I rushed out of my childhood very quickly. Basically, like I wanted to be older, but I also was forced to grow up very quickly. I had a lot of issues with my parents growing up, and then they eventually divorced, and that was a messy divorce. So, a lot of issues there. Yeah, not fun. I would basically just tell myself not to rush and enjoy those moments. Enjoy the time with my brothers. I had a lot of fun growing up with both my brothers, and just to really live in those moments while I could. As soon as you start growing up a bit, I mean, like in my experience, life just got really messy. And even now, like I've had a child, I'm married, and
Yeah.
you know, my life is really adulty.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Congratulations on that as well.
thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So yeah, I would just tell myself to just don't rush. Just enjoy being a kid while you can.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
See, this is why I keep playing like Mario Party now. And I keep playing like Super Mario 64 because I just want to
Absolutely.
live in those moments
Yeah.
for as long
I
as
feel
I
like
can.
that's such good advice
yeah.
too. I feel like especially like even with music stuff, we're like always so focused on like what's coming next that you like forget to like take
Kinda
in
just be
like,
in the
things that are
moment.
happening at
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
So like,
Exactly. It's easy to feel like when something comes up in life that it feels like this massive, massive fire and like you need to attend to it straight away and you need to make all the decisions around it straight away. But sometimes you can just water it slowly and it's
That's right.
It's not like
Yeah.
a massive thing.
Life is like a plant.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm always about the analogies like this. Yeah, no. Thank you for asking us that question as well, though. I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Oh,
No,
cool to hear.
that's really cool to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I've got to ask. I've got two things actually. If we've got time, I've got two things.
Please,
Of course, we have plenty of
please,
time.
go ahead.
You guys have time.
I was scrolling through and there was I haven't had time to listen to it yet, but there was like the best Disney songs episode.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to know. Actually, no, I've got three things. Sorry. There was Do you guys count Pixar as Disney songs? Like, would Toy Story
we
count as
spoke
Disney or
about
no?
I think
I don't remember
did
what
we
we
that count?
said then.
I
think
it's
we
under
ended
the
up allowing
Disney
it.
umbrella.
Is that,
Yes.
Is that under
Yes.
the Disney umbrella?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
then-
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
it's Disney at the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel like we did
It
do
is.
that.
Yeah.
Because
Was-
I feel
yeah.
like I mentioned Megamind in there, and Megamind is not Disney.
Megamind is not. It's that
Yeah.
DreamWorks, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I did. Anyway, but
Did
continue.
you,
with the
what, was there a big? Did you have? What was was there
The
like
winner?
was there a winner? Was it like a?
No, I think we more just named like our personal favorites, but
Yeah.
I remember what my list was and I would change it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, what would
I
you change?
I would add
For people who've heard it
prepared.
now, they can. Yeah.
Or be prepared.
I would add Be Prepared
By Scar.
from
Oh.
The Lion King.
Lion King.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, Lion King was
choice.
definitely a lot in there.
a Lion, you had like
Yeah.
three.
I couldn't not- I
think you did a
really
top
liked
5
Lion
each.
King.
You had like 3 Lion King songs.
Yeah,
in
I
there.
couldn't not. I really liked the Lion King.
You know, our mum wouldn't let us watch it because it was really sad, so she never let us watch that one.
You know what? I actually contemplate if I always think that because my little cousin, she would have been like 5, and she was like, I'm watching The Lion King, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, which one? She's like, number 2. I'm like, oh, I love number 2, and I'm like, did you watch number 1? And she's like, yeah, I cried so much.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
thought about
Our
it.
mum
I'm like,
just didn't
I
let
feel
us
like
watch
that
it.
scarred me as a child.
It's my son loves The Lion King, and he's nearly
Hmm.
3. But I skip through the part where Mufasa dies.
Yeah,
I skip
yeah.
because he's at this age where he's really starting to understand emotions.
Yeah.
And even if I don't talk in my usual ha la 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 tone, he's like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?"
Hmm. Yeah.
So he's very
Yeah.
empathetic. So I do tend to skip through that part.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
a good parenting choice by your mum.
Yes,
and
very
by
good
you as well. It definitely that one scene because I watched it quite young. I feel like that played on my mind and is part of the reason why I worried most of my
now
life.
I watch it and I'm bawling my eyes out.
Yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
I only
So
saw
sad.
The Lion King for the first time
Not that long
last
ago.
year because my mates could not believe that I hadn't seen it.
yeah.
You knew all the
How'd you
songs.
go?
And I knew all the songs. I was crying.
Yeah.
It's
Real
so
tears.
sad.
Like really I was really upset. I was really upset.
Actually, Ruby, I'd like to ask you a question. I see you're wearing
Yeah.
a necklace that has 444 on it.
yeah.
Does that mean anything to you?
Well, my birthday's on the 4th
Yeah.
of December, so I always like the number 4. And I actually bought it because I just like the look of it.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
it's
angel
really
numbers.
cool. Yeah.
But like 444 is like the angel number for protection. So
Oh, lovely.
I was like, I like didn't realize that till after I'd bought it, and I was like, oh, I like that, and like I started wearing it at gigs and stuff, and I think we just like played a few good shows in it when I was wearing it, and then it was like, okay, now I have to wear
Now you have
this
to wear
necklace
it.
all the time, and it's like
Yeah.
a really shitty, like I think it was like Princess Polly, or like it's like a $16 necklace, like it's
yeah.
really
Yeah.
crappy,
No,
but
but
I love it, and
the
I
meaning-
like
the
have to
meaning
wear
is
it all the time.
priceless.
Yeah,
The meaning is priceless.
Yeah. Plus, angel
know?
numbers
Yeah.
are so cool.
Yeah.
No, I love
yeah, I
that.
like the idea.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, do you want to let us know where our listeners can find you?
Absolutely. So all our music is on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Deezer, YouTube Music, all the
Awesome.
streaming places. You can find us on Instagram at Dacy Band, and we post. If you're in Melbourne listening, we post all our gigs every week where we're playing, and so hopefully we'll be interstate and stuff like that soon. So we'll keep that updated. Facebook for events. We're on TikTok as well.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Well, we'll make sure everything's linked down below.
Yes, most definitely.
Thank you so much
thank
for
you.
your time
Thank
today,
you.
guys. We really appreciate it.
Oh, no, we
Thanks for
appreciate you
having us
guys
on.
so much.
No, of course.
And it was
Thank you so
so
much.
great talking to you, and we hope you have a great day.
We hope you have a good day too. Thank you so much, guys.
I absolutely just loved Jack and Ruby.
I love how they started with everything, how they found their passion for music. They used to just play in their dad's studio with random cool bands.
I know, that's so cool. And like just the fact that they're so dedicated to the process of making it happen for themselves. Like I love that they perform live. I love that they have a real passion for that, and that they were happy to start in a space of busking when they had a studio at home, you know what I mean?
I know, I love that.
Yeah. Just so much passion, and just the fact that they can take inspiration from such small things in their life.
Yeah.
Like just the way they write their music, what their music is about. Like it's just, you can tell that they're two people that have very insightful souls. It's really sweet.
I agree. And I honestly think that because they've gotten so much inspiration from Ed Sheeran,
Yeah.
I don't think they could have chosen any better musician
as a role model, yeah.
as a role model, because he just sounds like such a cool guy.
I agree. I think like what a person to kind of look up to, because he's just such a humble, sweet gentleman, and he's just like, I watched an interview, not to make this about Ed Sheeran, but I watched an interview the other day where he was asked to perform with Eminem, the song Stan, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
And how when he listened to Eminem when he was younger, it actually helped him when he was practicing repeating Eminem's lyrics. It actually helped him get rid of his stutter that he had developed.
Goodness.
And so like it was a very full circle moment for him, and a very like a thing he had to do for his inner child essentially.
Wow.
And like it's just incredible that someone that's like at that level, like at that caliber of talent, still has the same moments that everyday people have, where they just like get to spend time with their idol, or they get to really be inspired or influenced by someone in the industry, even though they're at this stage in their life, they're just as well known.
I know. And he gets to do that for other people, like how he did for Jack and Ruby.
Exactly. It's just, I love people finding inspiration in other people, and Jack and Ruby, I know, will for generations to come be inspiring others.
Most definitely. And guys, go to Jack's Instagram and look at the drawing that he did for Ed Sheeran.
So
it was
sweet.
actually amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And guys, make sure you listen to their music. It's so awesome. Watch their music videos on YouTube.
Oh, they're so good.
They were so good and so sweet, and I just cannot wait to hear more music come out of these guys.
Yes, I'm so excited.
And please make sure, like, they are live gigging all the time, especially if you're in Melbourne. Make sure you head down and go watch them. We definitely will be, and we're just so excited to see what's like next for these guys.
Yes, exactly. Me too. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. We will have Dacy's details all in the episode description, and also the link to our Spotify playlist where you will find every song that we upload.
If you would like to work with me with one-on-one coaching, I have some spots available. Feel free to send me a message through the description below.
Yes. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye now.
now.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.